Welcome to Real Flix Reviews, like a book club for people who hate reading. This month they're doing grab bags, so I picked the movie Magnificent Seven, made in 1960. We bring you movie news, and this week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens,
Hello.
and Brian Preston. So, anybody have a description about this? Because I've got that small one from IMDb.
That's about what I'd
I
be
think we
using.
should. I think we should
But,
start.
actually, I will give a description of this one. What?
No,
It's
I
just
was
a
gonna
classic
say-
Western.
I think we should start reading the TiVo descriptions. I've always found those to be quite comical.
Well, if you have it right in front of you.
Yeah, you bust out your TiVo?
Oh no, I wasn't looking it up. I was just remembering all the fucking dumbass TiVo ones I've seen. Although I'll see if I can find it while you're talking. Go ahead.
Well, this is a classic Western where you have a little town and they get pretty much raped by bandits every week. So then they come up with hiring a bunch of goons to come out and fight them.
Which, by the way, for being made in Mexico, looks an awful lot like a spaghetti western. I think I even saw some of the same actors that were in some
Yes,
of the
you
spaghetti
did.
action.
Actually, we
No,
have
I
to
apologize.
apologize. Hold on. We have an apology to Eli Wallach's family. We missed your death last year, and we would also
Yeah.
like to say I'm a big fan of you. If you don't know who he was,
Sorry.
he's the big bad guy, and he's
Yeah.
quite a big bad
The-
guy all throughout Clint Eastwood westerns.
The main
Yeah,
bad guy?
yeah,
He's the bad guy from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, yeah.
He is an amazing actor for
Wait,
those
no.
spaghetti westerns.
Wait, he was the guy from The Good, Bad, the Ugly? He played the bad, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I think we mentioned it.
I don't remember it, but I'd like to say I don't remember it. So, we enjoyed your acting career. It was a
Oh,
great
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Oh,
he,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was one of the all-time most amazing character actors.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh my gosh.
A bad guy you love to hate, but you root
Yeah.
for.
So, according to IMDb,
Oh,
It's
come on, I did
it's-
a better job.
an
Where's
oppressed
my pen?
Mexican peasant village assembles 7 gunfighters to help defend their homes, which, shocking, is exactly the same that this movie's based off of, the Japanese movie, The Seven Samurai. Except I'm not sure if this movie's as sad.
No. The Seven Samurai was a great film, though.
So,
But really got to say the cast is really top of the line cast. You got Steve McQueen, you got Yul Brynner, you got Charles Bronson. I mean, and James Coburn. I mean, really all young guys.
I was really hoping, and I don't know where in the timeline he did King and I, but I was really hoping to hear at least one etc. Because every time I see him, it's either a line from Ten Commandments or etc. 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 I love Yul Brynner though. He's
Yeah,
always one of those guys. You go awesome.
Yeah, Yul Brynner is awesome. Now, okay, I should actually kind of start out before we jump into this by kind of apologizing. When John picked this movie, I was like, oh, great. I actually finally get to sit down all the way through and watch The Magnificent Seven. I've never actually seen this all the way through.
Can't
It's
believe
one of those that
That's
just
shocking.
kind of escaped me for
I'm-
whatever reason.
I'm guilty of the same thing. So no, not
I
just,
saw it
I
20
mean-
years ago.
so some things. I mean, I've seen a ton of old movies. You know what I mean? I'm a huge Steve McQueen fan. I'm pretty much a fan of everybody in this movie, and for some reason, it just escaped my crawl. But work has been just fucking bananas lately for me, so
Lots of
it
people
got a
dying.
little away from me.
everybody's dying to get in his
time.
business.
But I'm still gonna friggin' watch this movie like almost after I'm done recording this, because I'm a huge fan of everybody in this movie, like I said, and it seems like the 1960s Expendables, you know.
If you haven't told,
Yeah.
Ryan's a fan of doing things backwards. He
I
wants to
would-
record the show, then watch it.
Yeah.
I would actually go, yeah, that's pretty much what this is like top of the line
Expendables.
action
yeah.
heroes pretty much getting together and doing a film.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
for the time, I mean, this is an amazing cast. I mean, I'd say cast-wise, this is up there with like The Great Escape and Kelly's
Sure.
Heroes.
Some of the same people from Great Escape.
Yeah, true. And this
Yeah.
movie is another. It's an epic feel to it, which is I like the feeling of this movie. Granted, it's full of stereotypes and archetype characters, but it's such a great feel to this movie.
The thing I gotta say though is the difference between this and, for people out there who don't know, I am a big fan of the spaghetti westerns era. A lot of that stuff was great cinematography, funny acting, you can get involved with it. But the thing I gotta say is this one did not have the long, drawn-out songs that a lot of Clint Eastwood westerns had, where you're waiting for them to draw the gun and shoot.
I do have to say, I swear I've heard the opening music on a completely different movie.
I think I have too.
You've heard the opening music almost at every homecoming game ever.
Well, I swear on some.
I didn't go to those.
Neither did I. On some.
Yeah, no, well, I just meant that it's a high school band favorite.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask the old guy. I
Why,
swear
he probably
though.
composed it.
But I swear I've heard it on another movie because as soon as I heard a couple of notes, I'm like, I know this, and I've never been able to get it through this movie.
I was trying to think of the same thing because I recognized it right off the bat too, and I think it might have been one that Quentin used in one of his things, or one of those kind of classic buffs of film, that turned director. I don't think it was like Kevin Smith or anything, but the Quentin type probably did something like that. But this one, if you've ever seen a spaghetti western, this one kind of fits the bill, except for this thing I would say is it's more action-packed than most westerns that you come across.
It's definitely not like the spaghetti westerns. It's not drawn out at all.
Yeah, and then you have the fun part of them going out and recruiting the guys, Like, he kind of starts out with,
The kid's the best.
Yeah, the kid was the best, except for the fact that he kind of threw a big old hissy fit at the bar.
But I love the clap hands thing. And that was like he was totally screwing with him the whole time.
Yeah, but then you see him doing it in the river to catch the fish, type thing. So he got it, and I kind of find it interesting that only Steve McQueen, Yul Brynner, and the kid made it out of it. I was kind of rooting for James Coburn to live too. I'm a fan of James Coburn.
Oh, I love
the knife throwing in this one too.
Yeah, if you haven't seen James Coburn, I think he was also in a TV show called Combat for a long time. Check it out. I'm a giant fan of his personally.
And he's got a lot of cameos in early 90s and late 90s films. There's a lot of cameos that he did, just kind of like, hey, I'm James Coburn.
Yeah, basically, he became such an icon that everybody just kind of smiled when you saw him on TV. He did a lot of funny things later on in his career.
It's more like, I need a new car. Sure, I'll do a...
I think
by dying. It was really fun. I mean,
I was going to say, by the way, if I was him, I'd do the same thing. You want to give me $20,000 to be in 5 seconds? Hell, sign me up.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, other movies and shows that Magnificent Seven theme was in was, let's see, Fahrenheit 9/11, The Ringer, Larger Than Life, Moonraker, an episode of Miami Vice, an episode of The Simpsons, and Spaced episode. And they're also used in Marlboro cigarettes back in the day.
See, I swear I know it from something else, but I can't. Well, there's a couple of notes that have probably been recycled that just sound so familiar to me. So, man, I really wish you got to see it, Ryan. It was, you're the one person I was excited to see.
You know what, man, and I was freaking excited to see it too, man. But everything else got so freaking shitty this last week. My apologies. I'm sure our huge audience was waiting for my.
Oh yeah, I believe so.
But no, I'll talk to you guys about it though. For sure.
I gotta say, for the first time seeing a Steve McQueen movie, he's definitely not the star of this movie.
Well, shit. Look at who's near him.
Well, no, because every movie he's ever in, even if he's not supposed to be the main character, he's the highlight of the movie.
Didn't we do Bullet? Didn't we do Bullet?
Yes,
yeah,
we did.
Bullet.
So that's not your first Steve McQueen.
No, but I meant bastard. Twisted my words around. What I was trying to say is
you said you're first.
The first time seeing one of his movies that he wasn't like the obvious star. Like I swear I've seen him in movies where he wasn't the star, but he's such an amazing
star. I mean,
yeah.
who's the star? Yul Brynner. But
yeah.
I mean, you gotta have Yul Brynner be the star of a movie, even if you got Steve McQueen in it. Because I mean, Yul Brynner is.
It's Yul Brynner.
Yeah, it's like you can't throw him off. And I like the baldness of his head. He just bicked it.
Well, I think
I don't think Bics were back then, so they straight.
Well, that was almost his trademark. Matter of fact,
Bics were back then.
Seeing him with hair, I always thought was kind of creepy.
Yeah, I always thought it was kind of weird seeing him with hair too.
Because IMDb has him with hair, and it does. That's not the picture I think of. When you think of Yul Brynner, I think of maybe the Ten Commandments or. You know, the
Yeah, look at it with hair, Ryan.
I've seen it with hair. It's bizarre.
It is weird, but you know, it's that. But you know, huh?
Isn't he blonde?
I don't know.
I feel like
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
seen
So what do you think? We should probably get into more of the story. I mean, so anything that was
The more of the story, it's a western.
well, true. So it's the more of the story. By the way, that's a great use of English on my part. So I mean, this movie was definitely full of like
I mean,
you
it's
know
not a Kevin Costner. Jeez.
what it has about of one-sided characters as most Costner movies.
No, I mean Kevin Costner. If you think of his westerns, they actually have a story involved.
He's done one.
Two.
What was okay? That doesn't count. That was 30 years ago.
Jesus. Oh, what?
What was
No,
it?
it wasn't 30 years ago. Jeez.
I actually forgot with I actually forgot
And
of
then you got-
Dances with Wolves. I forgot about
Oh,
that.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, no. I'm thinking of at least three.
Then what was the other one?
Dances with Wolves. The Postman.
That
and
doesn't.
Open Range.
The Postman.
Postman was pretty much a western of
that
his.
doesn't really count.
Go back and watch it again.
I've
does
seen it
count.
like 5 times. It doesn't really
It's
count.
post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
western.
doesn't really count. It's like calling Mad Max a western.
I would almost say
Yes.
Waterworld would fit the more
Oh
traditional
God,
western
no,
than the other
no,
one.
no. You know,
What?
I will watch The Postman over Waterworld.
No.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I'll
No,
give
no,
Jake
no,
Postman
no.
before Waterworld, but I
Thank
don't know.
you.
But yeah, I want to watch the last 45 minutes of Postman. Never mind anything else of it.
Well, that's an incredibly long movie.
That's an understatement.
Wait. All of Kevin Costner's are incredibly long movies.
Yeah, but at least Open Range was really good.
True.
Yeah.
So,
But you could take a nap in the middle.
so the
Yeah,
gun.
didn't he carry like an 8-gauge shotgun in that movie?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was gonna say that the gunplay in this was pretty funny. I think you saw some of the Hollywood use of,
Jesus.
you know, the never-ending ammo.
Oh, no. Oh, hold on. Wait,
Because
wait.
I don't think they reloaded. At least I don't remember anybody reloading.
Hold on. Let me pull up one of these characters. I changed it. Robert Vaughn. Dude, worst death scene ever. Worst thing. You're just like, oh. And then, drama on the wall.
Oh,
Drama
yeah,
on the wall,
yeah.
Drama on the wall. Drama on the wall. I
Actually,
crumple.
When I saw that, my
It's like,
thought.
oh, are you freaking kidding me?
When I saw that, my first thought was, "Damn, I'd be embarrassed to die that way."
Right?
He's kissing a wall, like you know. It's like he's throwing a tantrum. Oh, poor me.
I mean, Trinity from The Matrix gave a better death scene.
At least a more holy scene.
Yeah, at least you took more. Yeah.
But I think that the gunplay in this movie was, to me, on the verge of being almost forgettable.
It's a western.
well, some
Well,
gunplay is
okay,
really
okay,
good.
hold on. You know,
Not
the
all of
big.
it,
Are you talking about the big gunfight scene?
Yeah, there's a couple of good scenes and bits and pieces in there, but yeah.
Because the big gunfight scene, I'm like seeing them like bang, 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 and it's like, dude, you gotta cock it again, dude. You know that's kind of like but that's to be expected of the westerns.
Oh, I know. My favorite bit was the beginning. He killed that Mexican guy in the beginning, and
Okay, yeah.
when he fell, the first he didn't have any blood on him, and when he switched scenes, he all of a sudden had this giant
Yeah,
blood
two
on him.
blood stains on there with
I-
no exit holes.
That always amazed
No,
me.
there was no exit holes on your back, dude.
See, that's where a lot of these tropes came from.
Oh yeah, no, I love it though.
You know, so you're almost, you know, we're kind of
I'm
coloring
expecting
it
it.
with the lens of seeing it 1,000 times, but obviously at the time, I mean, it was nothing that an audience paid attention to, and therefore it didn't exactly, you know, bitch at the director like, I noticed these gentlemen firing more than 6 rounds out of their pistols.
Well, back then I don't think they could have shown even half of what they've shown now.
Oh no. Well, I don't know. I
They
mean,
were doing it. What's his name?
the
Not
outlaw
De Laurentiis,
Josie Wales.
Sergio Leone.
Well, hold on. The outlaw Josie Wales had full-on breast scenes in there, and that was rated PG.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, I think breast for Exceptional were showing an exit wound on a body wasn't exactly, you know.
All right. Yeah.
At least that's kind of the way I've seen
During
it.
a rape scene, nonetheless. And PG. Come on.
Well, look, I have no comment. That's not going to get me in trouble. So I'm, you know.
All
I'm
right.
being
So, you
quiet
know,
there.
I guess in today's society, we're more interested in, you know, just seeing a limb blown off and like the most updated Rambo with a 50 caliber rifle. You know.
I do got to say though that the story of the Seven Samurai, which this is based off of, it actually says it in the beginning. It still holds up. This is still, a great underdog story.
Well, Seven Samurai was really big in the Japanese scene, and then it actually got a lot of accolades over here around this time. It was kind of making amends with Japan, but whatever. But that was a big thing, so they wanted to market it to American society, and that's what we were into at the time, was the westerns. It's kind of like what they're doing now with like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Let the Right One In, Old Boy. Those are the three main ones.
It was the kind of thing that we've done forever with the British. You know what I mean? Like, we hear great stories and we make them sort of palatable, or at least as the studios see it, to an American audience. Because a lot of people don't. I mean, they have little prejudices, like not wanting to read a movie. You hear that a lot, it's subtitled, and you hear people bitch. It's like
the old guy.
Yeah, well, I've always appreciated subtitles because it gives me just more of a context for the setting and for the attitude of the people.
Oh yeah.
Things get lost in translation, not just with the words, but with the tone of voice. You know? And even with American English to European English, British English, for example, it's if you unless you see a ton of it, then you start to kind of get the inflections a little bit more. You start to understand the little subtlety. Same thing with a Japanese movie, even if you don't understand the words and you're just reading it.
Yeah, a lot of people would freak out now if you said, I'm going to go outside and light a fag.
That's illegal. I would say, and we're in California, so you got to decide which one I'm talking about. I would say I think the Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai probably had a little bit more ceremony attached to certain things. Where this, I think they tried to put it in, kind of the whole mythology of the gunfighter. I just don't think they did a good job.
No, they couldn't do the same ceremony stuff that the samurai did, because then you're going to be wondering why the guy's sitting down and taking a shot, bending down on the ground and sipping it, and it's like, what are you doing,
jackass? You know what I'm talking about, though. Because you have the outlaw George Wales, and you have the spaghetti westerns that really enhance the mystique of a gunfighter in the West. This one to me didn't do it as much.
But if you want to see the mystique, go watch Pale Rider. There you go.
I love that movie.
For a few dollars more.
No, that one's got a lot of mystique in there.
So James,
it's got a lot of the character of the camera, of the back and forth before anything happens. You know what I mean? Those moments between action and harsh words or what have you.
Hold on, I want to enhance on what John's trying to talk about, because you brought up For a Few Dollars More. There's a couple scenes in there where they're like shooting the apples off trees, and he's got the gun and he puts a butt handle on it and shoots a guy way down the range, type thing. They didn't really do that a lot in this film. There's a couple times where James Coburn's character did it, and Yul Brynner's character did it, but not all the characters showed off their skills.
And even then, when they did, it wasn't like with in the Eastwood movies, it wasn't slow and methodical, and I don't know. It's just a straight action movie, like we said, which I'm happy I finally just got to see this movie after years of never freaking complaining it.
I give it a 4 out of for westerns. It's not my all-time favorite western movie, but it is up there.
I definitely give it. It's a strong 4 to 5, and hell, anything with James Coburn automatically gets more of a point for me personally. And Yul Brynner.
You're a Burt Reynolds fan.
Who?
The guy that posed for, was it Playgirl? I think.
Well, we'll change subject. I'm assuming Ryan doesn't have a score.
No, I don't, but I definitely will.
The old guy gives it a 5.
So, with that, I'm going to switch to Mr. Robot. And
now this one I was actually able to get in time, home in time to.
Okay,
to see.
So I don't actually have a synopsis or what it's about in front of me, but I will say, he's looking it up.
I got it. Follows a young computer programmer, Malek, who suffers from social anxiety disorder and forms connections through hacking. He's recruited by a mysterious anarchist who calls himself Mr. Robot. Christian Slater, hello.
I gotta say, when
you are alive.
When I think Ryan first brought this to my attention, I'm like, okay, yay, it'll be like Royal Pains or some of these other movies that TV shows that have kind of that are entertaining but have crappy cinematography that aren't really, they're kind of underwhelming. Damn, the show is shot like a movie.
Oh my god, the
cinema
show is beautiful to fucking watch, man. Holy shit.
The cinematography in this TV show, a part that really stuck out to me, oddly enough, was toward the end when they're looking up towards the piping on the ceiling. They would never do that in a TV show because it's wasting time. But it also, you know, had good meaning behind it. I mean, I think the show seemed out of place, or if it did, it's because you're not paying attention enough. You know what I mean? Like the wires going through. I mean, just, I don't know, to me, kind of symbolizing the connectivity of everything, and the world of a hacker is through that kind of conduit. You know? Yeah. This was canceled, right?
No. This is definitely picked up for the next season, which, I mean, actually, we caught this one a little bit late. They actually just aired their season finale.
Oh, because I swear I heard it was canceled after seeing the first episode. It's like, no, because honestly, if even if you don't like anything about this TV show, you got to watch it just for the visuals.
Now, I got to agree with you guys on the cinematography. I actually did enjoy that a lot. That actually kept me intrigued through most of the show. The thing is, though, I think in this first episode, they've overplayed their hand on the character.
How so?
I think they've overdeveloped him in the first episode. They really gave you a lot of his background, which not really fully his background, but
I see what you're saying. Like,
you see what I'm saying?
They can't in every episode, they can't deliver on that much.
Yes, that's kind of what I'm saying. Or you're going to lose audience. Hold on.
Have you seen
hold
the
on,
second
hold on.
any other one? I just want to state.
I've only seen the one.
James, Ryan.
Me too. Yeah, only the one.
But the one thing that I really enjoy, and that's the part that keeps me mostly intrigued, is his narrative.
Yes.
That's what keeps on grabbing me, because his interaction with other people is so dry.
Wait, weren't you the guy who hated the internal monologue in Dune?
Yes, that's
the internal monologue sucked. Don't even get started.
So
but no, I totally agree with James about the narrative from Elliot, because especially once you realize the perspective of the narrative, where he's kind of talking to a delusion, and we are the delusion as the audience. You know what I mean? We're getting an insight. Not only there, it's almost giving the perfect reason for hearing his inner thoughts.
And you're almost breaking like the third wall.
No, I want to point this out.
Fourth wall,
because what they're talking about is, if you haven't caught that's what's going on by the end of the first episode, I love how he says internally, you guys are seeing this too, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where really, if you haven't figured it out as an audience member, that's like a slap in the face. Hey, wake up, that's what's going on. Which I actually kind of enjoyed, because it was kind of like funny, like, oh.
And that was the cleverest way I've ever seen of breaking like the fourth wall. It wasn't like House of Cards where it was comedic and he would, do the Zach Morris moment. It went a lot. He did it as the show progressed, and it would enhance what was already there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what grabbed me back into it.
And I'm jonesing to see the second episode, and I'm kind of afraid of what James is saying is the fact that I may not like the second season.
You know what?
Well, I'm just saying.
Episode.
I kind of disagree, in as much as I'm obviously going to have to reserve judgment until I see the rest of it. I'm sure we're going to move on to another pilot. But
I got one.
I'm in just because it feels like everything about this was so well thought out.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's a reason for everything I saw in that episode.
And I'm hoping the way they do this. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm hoping like every episode has a different thing in it, and later episodes they bring you back and show you something.
Well, what I was really impressed with was here's a world where not a lot of people have a reference point for. You know what I mean? A lot of the times, when James and I watch, I don't know, some cop movies or action movies and whatnot. We have a reference for firearms and things like that.
Thank you for not bringing up the movie Hackers.
Yeah, but
Go with Swordfish
we have
over
reference
that.
points for some of the things that we're watching because they're not unfamiliar to us. But the world of hackers, what we know of it is the movie Hackers. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what do you know about Hackers? Angelina Jolie had her top off.
Hack
That's what
the
I know about Hackers.
Gibson.
Yeah, that's about
So
it.
You know, so the way that they actually
hack the planet, man.
yeah, but this, my point is the way that they actually brought you into the world and didn't make you feel stupid by having to explain a bunch of things.
They didn't explain shit.
It gave you just enough to where you understand what's
you're
going on. You know, kind of just being a layman. You know what I mean? Who the hell's a hacker?
And they didn't really explain it. They just like normal language and lingo, and they did it in a way that you understood it.
Right.
Because yeah, which I think is rare.
Again, I mean, they're explaining something to you without calling you stupid, and that's not as easy as it sounds.
So
you know?
so with that being said, definitely stay tuned to Real Flix, because I'm hoping we'll do more of this show as it goes on. And with that being said, we'll let you know we do have a Facebook page. Do you love us, hate us? Do you think we'll suck? We'll read you on air and most likely ridicule you.
Yeah,
and
Mr. Chow.
thank you for watching. And I don't know if you guys are horror fans or not. Personally, I'm not. But we lost a legend. Wes Craven,
man.
horror maestro, dies at 76 years old.
Yeah.
And
Young, actually, for that type of directors, guys, you know?
do you think he fell asleep?
I think he might have just... I'm going to bite my tongue because I was going to say some drug-related stuff.
So
yeah, well, what Wes Craven did for the horror genre, you know what I mean? He really popularized slasher films. You know, slasher films were B movies. They were things that you had to like kind of ask your local VHS guy, like, hey man, where's the weird shit?
they were like Grindhouse almost.
All of a sudden, Nightmare on Elm Street, starring a young Johnny Depp, and then, I mean, just brought it all to the forefront,
Yeah.
And then he just nailed it with New Nightmare, and then changed the game with Scream. I mean, everybody remembers Scream, 2 through 14, but
Never watched
I think people kind of overlook how bloody good that first movie was.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think it holds up as well as it did, but
I mean, it's a product of its time for
Oh, no,
sure.
totally,
But,
but you had-
but
you
at the
had-
same
That's why I
time,
never watched it.
it's like a Western, and it's a window into that time.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So we at Real Flix Reviews want to give condolences to his family and friends, and damn, he's never gonna make another movie. That's actually kind of sad because he was kind of my childhood, honestly.
Eli
Yeah,
Roth.
yeah, he
Eli
was one of
Roth's
a
taking
kind,
his
man.
place.
And the next bit of news is one that I'm kind of excited at because it gets rid of Jeremy Renner. I
I
can't
like
talk
Jeremy
correctly.
Renner.
Well, Matt Damon says the new Bourne movie is about a
I didn't like him in that.
post-Snowden world, which a combination between Matt Damon's Jason Bourne and after Snowden, I think is going to make a great piece of cinematography. and
I
movie
think
and
so
writing.
too. Well, I mean, in as much as I think I remember seeing the same piece, or maybe from a different source, but basically said that they kind of needed to wait for the world to change a little bit. You know what I mean? As opposed to kind of telling sort of the same story.
Mission Impossible.
Now you have these new elements to go with it. The same way Mission Impossible started out real lo-fi in the 90s. And then next thing you know, everything's, hackers and Simon Pegg and,
So
crazy.
I can't wait to see it. I mean, I obviously like the last one, but Jason Bourne is still my favorite character when it comes into this universe.
The
Yeah.
first three of those are the most fucking pitch perfect spy movies I've ever seen.
And in the what the hell have they run out of ideas? Disney is going to make a Jungle Cruise movie based off
man.
the ride.
After Tomorrowland, you didn't see this coming?
Well,
Tomorrowland wasn't that bad movie, though. Did you watch it?
I refuse.
No, it's actually worth a watch.
well, let's see. So they've made a haunted house movie,
You
which
watch Goldmember, I'll watch that.
Fuck you. I don't cuss on the show, but
so
that's it.
so here's the problem: is they made a haunted house movie which sucked.
They're remaking it.
Eddie Murphy killed it.
Yes, you
They
did.
made they're gonna make a Jungle Cruise movie, what else have they made into a movie? Oh yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm waiting for them to do Small World.
The first one of those I must have seen 4 times in the theater. That movie was awesome.
Hey, I got a perfect idea. It's a Small World, the horror movie.
Yeah, with Eli Roth having the little children come and slaughtering everybody. That river is actually blood.
I would pay to see that, just to see those, na, 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 you know,
little animatronics start chasing
white-eyed
you around,
demon
killing
dolls.
you. Yeah.
All I can think of is the one of the final handful of panels with Dark Knight Returns.
And another one. And another one, the King of Mumble, Benicio del Toro confirms he's going to be in the next Star Wars movie as a villain.
I mean, well, that should be interesting. Well, what was he just played some freaking bizarre character in something, and it's gonna.
He was in the Collector. He was in the Guardians of the Galaxy. He was
Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
As the Collector.
So I don't know. I love when Benicio del Toro gets weird. You know, I mean, it's like Gary Oldman playing Drexel Spivey in True Romance. You know.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you can understand him more. That's my only thing. Because
he's been around, you know, Los Angeles enough that he's starting to, you know, kind of pick up a couple things.
Well, I just thought it was funny. Like, I've seen people with interviews with friends of his, and they call him the King of Mumble. It always made me laugh. So that's so we're coming up towards the end of the movie, the end of the show, and next week is his pick.
So I'm gonna go for a blast from the past in 1986.
Ooh.
Really great film by Kurt Russell playing Jack Burton.
Ooh.
We are going to be doing Big Trouble in Little China.
Sweet. I've been wanting to watch this movie again. I literally, it's like, I'm going to watch this, but I've been waiting.
And so that's what we're going to be watching this coming week. And the show that I picked is a Netflix original. It's called Narcos.
Oh,
and
yeah. Okay.
This one is pretty much, you know, telling the story of Pablo Escobar's rise to power.
Ooh.
And
that should be a bloody.
You know, I've actually followed the history of this from what I've seen so far. I'm already in like episode 3, but it's really spot on. It's one of those that just grabs you.
Ooh,
so
yeah,
look forward to that one.
Yeah. Looking forward to that one.
So
man, this is why I like, you know, I think we've gotten shit for doing old movies and stuff, because we're not obviously in some kind of traditional, like, oh, we're just going to review all the new shit, because we're lazy mostly. But I'm going to cop out by saying I like doing the revivals.
I would say lazy no, broke yes.
Yeah.
I think Ryan's excited to see this one again.
Yeah, well, like I said, I like the revivals. I like you know, having an excuse to watch some of these things, and especially these big tentpole popcorn movies like Big Trouble in Little China and Magnificent Seven. It's like, shit, man, invite some friends over, watch an old movie.
Yeah,
I would say, as everybody here on Real Flix Reviews would agree, that older movies are so much better generally because of what comes out. And you may argue, and you may argue, you know, there's indie, there's this, there's that. You cannot beat older movies generally.
Well, what it is, man, is there's so much now that it's so much harder to separate the wheat from the chaff. And with the old movies, you at least kind of have this time thing that, like, oh shit, people still talk about this movie 35 years later. Let me give it a shot, you know?
Yeah, like Young Mr. Lincoln, 1939. Henry Fonda. We did it on Real Flix Reviews. Make sure you check it out.
I swear I can't go a week without somebody bringing that movie up.
What friends do you hang around?
I was being sarcastic.
I was hoping you
cat.
weren't. So I gave the movie Magnificent Seven a 4 to 5. James gave it a 4 to 5. Ryan said, I'm going to go home and watch it.
No, he is home. He's going to watch it.
Close enough.
I take your recommendation.
And next week we're doing, what was the TV show?
Narcos.
And as always, thank you for watching.
Thank you.